Hey guys, so today I'm going to do the round 3 preview. So I think this is the Eastern Conference Final, or Eastern Conference Championship. Round 3, Tampa Bay versus Boston. I don't know why I keep saying Boston. Tampa Bay versus Washington. So first I'm going to go over the round 2. So for Tampa Bay, they beat Boston in 5 games. So game 1, Boston won 6-2, so they led the series 1-0. By the way, Tampa had home ice in the series, so games 1 and 2 were in Tampa. So when I saw them lose 6-2, I was like, is this going to be a different series than I thought it would? Because I figured that Tampa would win quite easily. And then game 2 comes, and then they were able to tie the series 4-2, which is at 1-1, which is good. So game 3 comes along in Boston now, and I was like, shit, I'm nervous because these games are in Boston, so I'm kind of nervous now. So they eventually pull away with a 4-1 win to make it a 2-1 Tampa Bay series. So I was like, okay, they're good. Now, even if you lose the next one, then it's still tie 2-2 going back to your house. So it's going back to your house, going back to your home. So game 4 comes along. It does force overtime, but a lot of controversy with this one because it was 3-2 Boston. There was a penalty. I don't know if it was a penalty. I was trying to look at it in all aspects. I was like, is there a reason the ref didn't call it? Did he just miss it? Or did he think, you know what, it's not, I don't know. Which eventually led to the tying goal to make it 3-3, and then Tampa scored in overtime to make it a 3-1 series for Tampa Bay, heading back to Tampa, so Tampa has a chance to win at home, and they do just that. Boston scores first to make it 1-0. Tampa then scores 2 goals in a few minutes to make it 2-1, and then they add the empty netter, and then it's a 3-1 Tampa Bay win. So they get past round 2 and 5, they get past round 1 and 5, and they win the series 4-1. So for Tampa Bay, goals for, this is only for the second round. Goals for, 17, not bad. Goals against, 13, so meh. For rounds 1 and 2, goals for Tampa Bay, 35. Goals against, 25. And keep in mind, that's for round 1 and 2. So now I'm going to get to the goal scores for Tampa Bay. Only the second round. So if I say one person has 1 goal, it's because in the second round they have 1 goal. So Dan Girardi got 2. A few people got 3. Andre Palat and Brendan Point got 3 goals, both. Steven Stamkos with 2. Dan Girardi with 2. And Mikhail Sergachev, Yanni Gore, Tyler Johnson, Anthony Cirelli, JT Miller, Anton Strawman, and Nikita Kucherov all with 1 goal in this round. And now for Washington for round 2. They beat the Penguins in 6 games. Finally, I was so happy. When that goal went in, I was like, yes, because I don't want Pittsburgh to win again. You know what I mean? Whatever. So then Washington had home ice. So game 1 they had a 2-0 lead. They blew it. Pittsburgh came back to win 3-0. They lead the series 1-0, and I was like, of course, here we go again. Game 2 rolls around. They have a 3-0 lead. They eventually keep it. Then they win 4-1 to tie the series at 1-1. Then going into Pittsburgh, I was like, I'll be surprised if Pittsburgh doesn't win at least one of these games. So then game 3 comes along. Washington is able to win on an Alex Ovechkin goal with a minute left in the third, or a minute and a half. So Ovechkin wins it to make it a 2-1 Washington series lead. Game 4 comes along. Pittsburgh wins 3-1 to tie the series at 2. Then going back to Washington, I was like, they have to win this game. You know what I mean? Because, whoever wins Game 5, when it's tied, they usually win the series. So it was tied 3-3 with, a 4.5 left or something. Washington scores to make it 4-3. They add 2 empty netters to make it a 6-3 win for the Caps to make it a 3-2 series lead. They go into Pittsburgh. It goes to overtime, tied 1-1. They get the winner on a breakaway, a nice pass, nice breakaway, nice move, goal. And they end it. It's a 2-1 overtime win for Washington, and Washington wins the series 4-2, finally. So goals for Washington in the second round, 19 goals for, 15 goals against. For rounds 1 and 2, 43 goals for, and then 33 goals against. So goal scores, again, only for the second round. Andre Palat and Brayden Point with 3 goals. Wait, what? Huh? Coming into 2017-2018, it's fair to say both of these teams had Stanley Cup hopes, although their outlooks were very different. The Lightning were coming back fully healthy and optimistic that last year's postseason miss was a blip. Yeah, I didn't think that they missed the playoffs last year, but I guess they did. I don't know. I guess I forgot. A popular pick to reach and or win the cup in preseason predictions, the hockey world largely agreed that the amount of talent in Tampa was too much to ignore them as a huge bounce-back candidate. With the young goalie Andrei Vasilevsky rising to the challenge and quickly becoming a Vezina Trophy finalist, the Lightning didn't really have a weakness and are one of the biggest buyers at the trade deadline. Washington, on the other hand, was still viewed as a contender, though maybe less so than they had been in a few years. Last season was the Capitals' all-in season, and when they fell in the second round again, the sixth time in the Alex Ovechkin era, it led to a lot of off-season losses from the roster, even still because of some high-end pieces up from Ovechkin on the blue line, John Carlson, and in net, Braden Holtby. Washington wasn't going to be written off, but they were supposed to take a step back. After many years of falling short in the playoffs, they seemingly had caught the disease that plagued the San Jose Sharks for years. The disease that plagued the San Jose Sharks for years. No one who picked the Caps for the Cup preseason could have felt too good about doing it, even after they won another regular season division title. And yet here we are, and this is the Caps team, the most unlikely of them all, that slayed the Sidney Crosby Pittsburgh Penguins Dragon to get the team to the conference final for the first time since they got to the Cup final in 1998. Injuries are starting to take a toll, though, and the Lightning have clearly been the better team from start to finish. So the Caps will move on to face another, bigger test. Is this where the run stops, or is it destiny calling Ovechkin? And yeah. Moving on to the advanced stats, 5-on-5 hockey. Washington, 47.99 CF%. I still don't know what that means. 24th in the league, 52.48 goals for percent, which is 12th. A 9.25 save percentage, which is 13th. A 9.14 shorthanded percentage, which is second. And a 101.61 PDO, which is fourth. For Tampa Bay, 51.62 CF%, which is seventh. A 57.18 goals for, which is first, a 9.29 save percentage, which is fifth, a 9.35 shorthanded percentage, which is first, and a 102.28 PDO, which is also first. So they rank better in everything over Washington. So stats-wise, Tampa Bay is better. Like on paper, they're better. So Tampa Bay's offense is 9.10, which is second. Their defense is 5.20, which is 13th, and their power number is 7.15, which is second. Washington's offense is rated 5.62, 13th in the league. Washington's defense is 3.56, 23rd in the league, and their power number is 4.59, which is second in the league. No, 19th in the league. So Tampa Bay, again, is better in all those stats, second, 13th, second, and then 13th, 23rd, 19th. So Tampa has all better stats in that area. So more team stats, moving on to the power play, penalty kill. So I'm assuming this is throughout the regular season. So Washington went 22.5% on the power play, which is 7th. Their penalty kill was 80.3%, which was 15th. They scored 256 goals, which was 9th, and they allowed 238, which was 16th. Tampa Bay's power play is a little higher than Washington's, 23.9%, which is 3rd. Their penalty kill was a lot lower at 76.1%, 28th in the league. 290 goals for, which is 1st. And 234 goals allowed, which is 13th. So they're not better in all those stats, but in a few of them, they're like a lot better. So their head-to-head record, Washington is 1-1 against Tampa Bay this year, and Tampa Bay is 2-1-0 against Washington. So Tampa Bay is obviously a bit better. So moving on to the playoff strengths for Washington. The 7th best regular season power play has continued to be a plus for the Capitals, who convert with the extra man at a better rate than any team left standing. But the Capitals have found a way to score in all situations. After receiving the most power play opportunities of any team in round 1, Washington had the second fewest PP chances in round 2. I don't know how I said PP, and made up for it with a 5-on-5 production. The Caps have been one of the best even strength producers to this point, but led by Alex Ovechkin, who is quietly 6th place in playoff scoring, like 6th in playoff scoring. The best strength for the Capitals to this point was also their biggest worry coming into the playoffs. In goal, Philip Grubauer started the first 2 games against Columbus. Braden Holtby had been struggling, but it didn't take long for Coach Barry Trotz to turn back to his number 1. Holtby was especially good. Barry Trotz to turn back to his number 1. Goalie Holtby was especially good in round 2, holding a Penguins offense that was red hot against Philadelphia to one of the lowest goal totals. Holtby now has a 9.24 save percentage in the postseason and a 2.16 goals allowed That's second to only mark on Andre Fleury among remaining netminders. Playoff strengths for Tampa Bay. Yeah, sorry, I'm like still like fucked up. I don't know why I'm saying everything wrong. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. I talk too much and I always mess up. So playoff strengths for Tampa Bay. The highest scoring team all season long has continued to dominate offensively in the playoffs, averaging 3.5 goals per game and scoring 17 in 5 games against a stingy Boston defense. After their top line led the way in round 1, it was Braden Point who led Tampa Bay with 7 points against the Bruins, and Victor Hedman added 6 after he was held pointless versus New Jersey. The Lightning are a small team that has a mix of early draft picks and players completely passed over altogether, but they can skate and shoot and bring a heck of a lot of offensive creativity that befuddled one of the best shutdown teams in the league. The Capitals' X Factor? Nicholas Backstrom missed Game 6 against Pittsburgh, so his health will be in question even if/when he returns to the lineup. The Capitals already don't have the kind of scoring depth they've had in years past, so let's put some more pressure on Alex Ovechkin to pull his team over the hump. He's got them to round 3, somewhere the Caps haven't been since 1998, so it's obvious that he can't let up. As far as an X Factor goes, we need to pick out an unheralded player who needs to produce, and that responsibility falls squarely on 22-year-old Jacob Vrana. The rookie averages 12.20 of ice in the regular season, which has actually fallen to under 10 minutes in the playoffs. This guy needs to play more. When he was moved to Upton in the lineup, he had a 3-point night in Game 5 versus Pittsburgh. The Capitals will need to muster all the offense they can against all of Tampa's weapons, and Vrana, the 13th overall pick in 2014, has earned the opportunity. The Caps scored a lot against Pittsburgh, thanks mostly to a struggling Matt Murray. It doesn't look like they'll have that luxury against Tampa Bay. The Lightning's X Factor. The most surprising thing about this postseason edition of the Lightning is how strong they've been on defense. Coming into the playoffs, they were a team that had allowed among the most shots in the league over the second half and were middle of the road in goals against. But through 2 rounds, the Lightning have allowed the second fewest shots, and no team allowed fewer shots than Tampa did in round 2 alone. The Capitals have stepped up their defense as well and were at their best when they played shutdown and suffocated the ice against Pittsburgh Stars. Tampa could actually match that, and if they do, taking Washington's offense out of the series, it could leave their stellar offense unchallenged. So the playoff team leaders, goals, assists, points. Washington, Alex Ovechkin obviously leads with 8 goals, 7 assists, which is 14 points. Evgeny Kuznetsov, 7 goals, 7 assists. No, 7 goals, 7 assists, which is 14 points. And Nicholas Backstrom, 3 goals, 10 assists, 13 points. For Tampa Bay, Nikita Kucherov, 6 goals, 6 assists, and 12 points. Braden Point, 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points. Steven Stamkos, 3 goals, 7 assists, and 10 points. So Tampa will have home ice in this series, which I should mention. The record for Tampa Bay at home during rounds 1 and 2 is 5-1, so a pretty good record for Tampa Bay at home. But the record for Washington away during rounds 1 and 2 is 5-1 as well. So basically they have the exact same record. So both teams are good at what they will be dealing with. Of course, Washington away and Tampa at home. So it should be a tight and close series. Maybe expect a few overtimes. That's what I'm going to expect. My prediction is going to be actually kind of hard to say for me, because both teams are playing well. I'm kind of leaning toward Tampa, but I'd say the series could go 6-7 games. Seems somewhat even, but it seems that Tampa is better in their stats. It seems that they're more healthy. It seems that their goalie's better, because Matt Murray was struggling, which led to Washington scoring more goals. But Vasilevsky has been pretty good. So now I'm going to tell you guys the schedule for the series. So Game 1 is going to be played in Tampa Bay on Friday, May 11th at 8 p.m., which you can watch on NBCSN or TVAS. Basically, for all the games you can watch on that, those channels. Game 2 will be in Tampa Bay as well on Sunday, May 13th at 8. Game 3 in Washington, Tuesday, May 15th at 8. Game 4 in Washington, Thursday, May 17th at 8. If necessary, Game 5 in Tampa Bay, Saturday, May 19th at 7:15. Game 6 in Washington, again if necessary, Monday, May 21st at 8. And then, of course, Game 7, if it's necessary, is going to be in Tampa Bay, played on Wednesday, May 23rd, 2018, of course, at 8 p.m. So I do want to congratulate Washington on finally beating Pittsburgh. Ashley, thank you so much for doing that, because I wanted them out for a while. I do not want the Penguins winning another cup. I'm not a fan of the Caps. I never really liked the Caps. In fact, I kind of hate them. But because you bitches took out the Leafs in 6 last year. But I mean, I gotta congratulate you guys for finally beating Pittsburgh, which I know that was a struggle for you. a good luck in round 3, but I'm still gonna say go Bolts go because yeah, fuck the Caps. I am gonna vote for Tampa Bay in the series. Like I want them to win. I mean, I would feel bad for Washington if they get out, but then again, I hate Washington and I do not want to see them win a cup. To be honest, like it won't be that bad because now it's gonna be a different team regardless. But I actually do think that Vegas is gonna win the cup. So yeah. By the way, so today's Wednesday. On Friday afternoon, I'm probably gonna film the video, film the prediction for the Western Conference Finals. Yeah, or the Western Conference Championship, which is going to be Vegas versus Winnipeg or Nashville. We still don't know. Game 7 will be played tomorrow night, which is why I'm going to be doing a video, like a preview video, Friday afternoon, Friday evening. And I don't know when the Game 1 is going to be, but hopefully it's like Sunday or something. I'm assuming it's going to be on Saturday. But I'll try to get that out as soon as possible once I know everything and stuff like that. But yeah, go Caps go, go Bolts go, good luck, whoever made the best team win. I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe.